Hello there, and welcome back to another custom Lego build review. This time, as promised, it's HMS Hood, and it is one of my favorite, yet also one of my least favorite because, well, that's my own fault. Ship-wise, it's my favorite, and build-wise, it was my favorite, but in recent months, it's been a pain in my absolute. It's been a pain in my neck, right? I have upset the Lego gods by trying to make this thing float, and I am paying for my sins. Because if you can't tell, the midsections come out pretty well, but the bow and the stern are still quite clogged with sealant, and I can only chip away a little bit of a layer at each time. So that is the unfortunate reality of the ship as it is. But on the whole, she's not looking too bad. At least, that's what I think. There's not going to be too much to go over. Really going to be focusing a bit more on just some of the technical differences. Because, let's just get this out of the way. Sorry, not the secondaries. Things like the funnels and, of course, the upper decks and everything. The anti-aircraft guns. Those are all the same. Right? So the main guns are basically the same thing. There's no real difference there, except for perhaps the parts are a bit more unified. You can see here, I actually got these nice straight line ones. I have these. So I had more of a, standardization of the parts. That's about the only real difference when it comes to the guns. Let's see. Let's see. As far as technical things, what I really like, and what I've gotten a couple compliments on in different years of the competition, is using these to make the bridge, or not the bridge, the conning tower, sorry. But using these to get that curved oval type of shape for conning tower. And what I have is a tower of those bricks underneath. And just slapped these over top. Ta-da! But the real difference came with getting the hull shape. If you look from the front, right? Getting her hull shape down a bit based on just photos and technical side diagrams like off of Wikipedia and so forth. What I've done is similar to the Yamato, is I would have the angled bricks, you'd have your plates, every so often you might have some supporting columns, then you would repeat. And that's basically it. So the inside of this is almost hollow, which does make it lighter compared to the other one. And I was able to continue doing that even down here in the bow, right? It's still like that in the bow, which means, except for like the very, very front end, I'm catching the computer there in the corner, but except for the very front end, everything else is basically the same as the middle, which again makes it lighter and easier to, transport and move around. The real technical differences came with her masts, right? So getting this to cooperate was a bit of a pain. You can see what everything's connected to there. We're just going to let the camera speak for itself a little bit. All the different parts that are used. But the front mast, that was perhaps the hardest part. So we got all these thin kinetic technic pieces. I keep saying kinetic. They're technic. Come on now. These technic pieces, these are old droid arms. Right? Connected to this little phone piece up here acting as the rangefinder. Another one down here. Another acting one down here, a little rotating one. The bow has its nice little overhang there. Get to the very end. And that really is the key highlights of this particular build. It was really streamlining the whole construction so that it was a bit easier to do, also a bit lighter, and then really just focusing in on details with the superstructure. Uh, that's about it. You know, standardization of parts, small improvements over time. And that'll basically do it. Nice, short and sweet, but that does it for the structural. What I tried doing in my eternal young naivete is I tried sealing this with like Flex Seal and that sort of stuff, right? And painting my own like liquid sealant. It just didn't work. So I've recently been using a bunch of stripper and abrasives and just trying to get it down back to the bricks. There's been some progress, you know. I might mention it from time to time in the future, give little minor updates, but yeah, it's a work in progress getting this back into a more presentable condition. I don't think I'm ever gonna bring her to a competition again, because even when she's restored, I think there's gonna be some obvious signs of that, and I think that's why she's never won, is because they might mistake this for like a glue, and it then disqualifies it. When that was never really the intention, I guess, to glue pieces into place. It was just a flotation experiment, but it is what it is. That truly will do it for this presentation. The next one will be my personal current favorite, the RN Pola. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.